The federal government has failed to act in creating resolutions for the growing cost of Indigenous incarceration rates. However, the Northern Territory tried to tackle the issue through the Northern Territory National Emergency Response Act 2007. Known simply as the Intervention, this introduced measures into the Indigenous community, including increasing police presence, restrictions on alcohol, and provisions on welfare payments based on their child's school attendance. This act was criticised due to it demonstrating further discrimination against the minority while only gaining a few community leaders' support. Although the imprisonment rate decreased slightly in 2008, the number continued to rise since. Introduced into the Australian judicial system in 2002, the Murray Courts was seen as a way to bring Indigenous customary law and state law together. This provides a forum where elders, respected persons, community justice group and the offender can be involved in the sentencing process. This has been implemented in all Australian states excluding Northern Territory and Western Australia. Both of these states are holders of the highest incarceration rates in the country, as shown by the ABS in 2016. Although a reasonable resolution, the final decision comes down to a magistrate with little knowledge of the cultural aspects of the community. The ongoing debate on whether Indigenous law should be specifically recognised in Australian law has yet to be actioned. I recommend to you and your government two potential and hopefully successful solutions to tackle the serious conflicting issue. If you put a child in a juvenile detention centre, you've virtually got them for life. The judicial system should increase the jurisdiction of Murray courts to cover the entirety of Australian courts in the sentencing process, allowing them to sentence juveniles to punishments that suit their culture. This would benefit stakeholders both socially and legally, as this would reduce cases in magistrates, allowing a focus on more urgent cases, and support the culture of the damaged society that the Australian government has spent years ignoring. In the 1967 referendum, the Australian government abolished the ability to make laws on behalf of the Indigenous if it benefited the Commonwealth. However, the government, more than 50 years later, is reluctant to initiate what the Statement of the Heart called a First Nations voice in our government. Our neighbour New Zealand, who has similar incarceration rates, established the permanent seats for their Indigenous leaders, who now take up 14% of their country's parliament. Currently, Australia only has a total of 4 Indigenous Australians out of 151 members in our federal parliament. Initiating this would benefit the members of the Indigenous populations who have already been impacted through the legal system, as the government can consult with those affected on how to tackle the issue with cultural awareness of the areas. Both of these resolutions would benefit all Australians through the long-term savings of government expenditure on the legal system, as sentencing and reoffending statistics will be reduced. A simpler strategy to place into action include initiating community service, replacing jail time for petty crimes, allowing a reduction of government spending and benefiting their local community as a whole while still receiving a punishment. Minister of Indigenous Affairs, it is time to resolve the issue of overrepresentation of our Indigenous Australians in the judicial system. I give my gratitude for your consideration in the recommendations put forth in my presentation. Their history, their present situation is linked to Australia's future. It is time to act and create solutions to support this minority.